Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4! And today, spawning in on the east side of the map, playing in blue, we've got Whammo1, playing as the Macedonian dynasty. And up against him today, on the west side of the map, in red, none other than his brother, One Puppy Paw, playing as the Golden Horde. Welcome everyone to Dry Arabia. And as always, hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And, well, you know what? I'm kind of curious. When are you watching these games? Is it the morning for you? Is it the afternoon? Or is it the evening? I've always wondered, do people watch my videos to go to sleep? Or maybe, I know, you guys wake up and think, oh, the first thing I gotta do is watch a Farm Man cast, maybe with my breakfast. Maybe it's your lunchtime leisure. Who knows? Well, I want to know. Let me know in the comment section below. Kind of curious to see what times you guys actually watch my games. Although I'm posting so frequently today that you're probably watching it both, well, hopefully, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Although I'm only posting twice a day, roughly. Either way, just let me know. I'm kind of curious because I never asked that question before. And what we will be asking a lot of questions for today, though, is how these two civilizations match up against each other. I feel that these two civs are fantastic ones. As it happens, though, I feel like they have a power spike at a similar sort of time, and we'll talk about it, because the Golden Horde, they're a civilization that really ramp up in production, especially when they get the Uvus up and running. They get plenty of stone, they can make the Turgut from them, and they can pump out units heavily. I feel like there's a really sweet spot for them at like the 15-20 minute mark, and I feel like it's a very good Castle Age civ, not because of necessarily what Castle Age gives them, but more about what the Castle Age timing at that sort of time when you're in the Castle Age. It feels like the Golden Horde really pump out units at that time. On the other side of things, though, the Macedonian dynasty, for them, I feel like their Castle Age is incredibly strong. Mostly because of what it gives them. It gives them access to a very special unit, the Ridderi. A powerful cavalry unit, basically a lancer alternative, but it also has the ability to throw axes. I mean, what's not to love about that? Throwing axes is incredible. But the thing to note about it, it does melee damage, but it does it from range. So you can imagine the hit and run tactics is pretty special with that, and it's just a unit that's been doing so well. Now, also in the Castle Age for the Macedonian dynasty, I feel like they're well set up for it because of the Grand Winery. Now, the Grand Winery allows you to make monks, and of course in the Castle Age you want the monks for the relics. It's really important, actually, to get those relics quickly if you can. And so obviously the Macedonian dynasty got the building for it straight away. Also, don't forget, the Grand Winery gives you a 30% bonus on food gathering. And that will help you get to the Castle Age in the first place. So I think Macedonian dynasty could be really powerful for that. Especially if you can mass up a good number of the Ridderi. Also, bear in mind, if you're being a bit cheeky and going aggressively to the fast Castle Age, like without making too many units, well, your strongholds can be upgraded to have arrow slits in them. And so the strongholds, they're essentially your production building for Varangian units, and you can upgrade them with arrow slits, and they fire incredibly fast. So you can imagine plonking them down by the gold, and then you're happy as Larry. And not to mention, okay, like the list keeps going on and on and on. Well, if you go to the Castle Age with the Golden Horn Tower, well, that spawns you crossbowmen. And in the Castle Age, the crossbowman is a unit that you really want to get. It's a powerful unit and great against heavily armored units, which your enemy is looking to make. Now, for the Mongols, or I should say, not the Mongols, the Golden Horde, they, as I say earlier, I feel like their timings are really sort of in the 15 to 20 minute mark, where they really max out their army. And you know, if you're not in the Castle Age at the 15-20 mark, something's going wild, right? So again, for them, the Castle Age is not necessarily what gives them something special, but it's just the timing of it, where they tend to make a lot of units and possibly overwhelm the enemy. Now, a little bit more about the Golden Tent. It's the building that houses all the tech ups to the next stage. So we've got the Khan and Turguts, which was the option for him today. Also had another kind of carts one where you can actually place down production buildings. Great for a timing attack. But of course, the Khan and Turguts, what it does, it gives you an increase in the health of the Khan and the Turguts, and also reduces the cost of stone for them. And I think that obviously, if you're playing the mid to late game, that saving on cost is actually really nice. But there's been something I've been cooking and thinking about. Well, if you go to the castle age with the carts version, okay, you make 2 production buildings, which is great. But when you get to the castle age, you get an extra one. And so what that cart can be used for is to make a monastery or a prayer tent in this case. And that allows you to have the building to get the shamans out, right? Because when you go to the castle age, it's usually a race for relics. So I wonder whether a fast castle build for that and getting the prayer tent to get the relics quickly could be a nice option. Now, obviously, that is not possible today because Puppy Paw has not opted for that to get to the next stage. But maybe we'll see that in a future game, potentially. Who knows? Oh, interestingly enough, it looks like Wham went for professional scouts. All right, now we have seen a lot of professional scouts recently, and to be honest with you, there's a big reason why I stopped casting Age of Empires 4 because that's all that was happening. So Wham continuing that legacy, but I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you think about it, you've got the food gathering. If you're going for a castle age, you want extra food, and if you get it underneath the Grand Winery, that's ideal. But I think if you can get the Grand Winery going and also get survival techniques, that could be incredibly powerful. Speaking about power, that should be the first villager dying. And that is. The Khan dies as well, though. I mean, it's an expensive loss losing the Khan, but probably worth it. And should get a second villager out of this. Probably will lose at least one of the Turgut. Maybe not even. Holy smokes, I actually managed to get out of there. That's kind of crazy. That is wild. But yeah, gathering the stone because it looks like he's going to go for the arrow slits upgrade, understandably so. But first, upgrading the spearman to hardened status to help defend against the cavalry. But yeah, having the Grand Winery 30% extra gather rate of food as well as the survival techniques could be really strong. As I say this though, like being able to be so aggressive as the Golden Horde, you're on the deer anyway, right? So you can be expansive on how you get on the map. Another villager kill as well, which is good. I mean, sure, it's actually fantastic to get the arrow slits, but it takes a bit of time, right? Because 100 gold, 50 stone, they're kind of usually resources you're kind of strapped for in the feudal age. You don't often have a lot of that floating, at least in the early stages anyway. One thing to bear in mind, by the way, with professional scouts, the deer carcasses are decaying. When they're being carried on the scout's back, they decay food, so it's not as strong as it once was, at least in terms of total food. Needs a couple more spearmen here. Villagers, another one. Oh, he's not going to dive into it. Okay, that villager survives for now. But 2 villager kills so far, not too shabby, and he's kind of denying the pro scouts a little bit. So you can see, look, that had 350 food on it to start off with, but now 324. And it wasn't even that far that it had to travel to lose that amount. Quite a big decay on that, actually. That's surprising. But yeah, you can see definitely a position here for Fast Castle, right? For Wham, but I gotta say, you know, Puppy Paw looking to do the same. He's gotten so much value out of these Turgut. Bear in mind, the Turgut, there was, like, yeah, you do need to spend a bit of food on it, but the biggest cost is actually on stone, which you get from the Uvu anyway, right? So the stone wouldn't help you get to the castle age in terms of actually paying for it. It helps you get there by giving you units to harass your enemy so you can take the deer free on the map. Yeah, we're both looking to get to the castle age pretty quickly. Looks like the Golden Horde will get there first. Because obviously the thing about the situation of going for the spearmen, I say spearmen, but actually, you know, for the Macedonians, of course, they're called Adgemether. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. But yeah, Adgemether. He needs to make a lot of them to make sure that he's got enough to spread around the base. But also needs to outnumber the Keshiks. Right, this is interesting. So we are actually going to go for relic Uvus. So he's going to be able to try and get as many relics as he can and then convert them into Uvus for more stone. For more, probably, Turgut. But still able to pick up them. To be fair, getting these is actually pretty big. This is quite a big chunk of food. He's going to need all the food he can get. Now he's going to... Oh, no, he cancelled it. Okay, initially he was going to go with the Relic Uvus, but it decides instead to go for the Muscovy Yasak. Interesting play there. I mean, maybe doesn't feel too confident he's going to get all the relics or as many of his as he can, but the Muscovy does really help the heavily armored units, give them additional 2 ranged armor. And I mean, the thing is to think about is really what are we kind of trading off here? We're trading off, if you don't go for the Muscovy Yasak, you could be getting an extra 2 ranged armor. If you go for the relic Uvus instead, you could be getting more stone for more units. Ultimately, I think if you're going to max out your units in terms of population supply, you really want the Muscovy. And I think the fact that the Golden Horde typically does max out their unit production, if you're going full kind of Castle Age, it's usually around the 20-minute mark, and we're already halfway there. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Actually, how much time or how much boosting of units do the relics actually give you in terms of getting Uvu into stone? I think that's a big question we have for the Golden Horde. Of course, it's always nice to have that income, but when you're at full population, having resources in your bank is great for replenishing army, but it's not like, when you get at 200, if you have 200 max really quickly, having better quality units can make all the difference. We'll see. Now, Castle Age is in place, and does take a bit of time for the crossbows. I'm glad that they don't come instantly, because that would be kind of crazy. But yeah, you get 4 crossbowmen. It looks like every minute 20 seconds, a minute and a half. I'm not sure, actually. I have to double check on that. But yeah, the Riddari are coming out. Relatively expensive, but I mean, not... Yeah, in fact, I don't think they're that expensive, actually. Considering you get 2 Keshiks for this, not too expensive, and they're a really good unit. Alright, ending the Varangian Arsenal. Going to be looking to get some upgrades. Something that's actually very different for the Macedonians. You've got the cavalry specific upgrades as well. But it's going to go for the ranged units first, which is... I mean, he doesn't have any ranged units? That's kind of weird. Oh yeah, wait, to be fair, he's got crossbows, right? Yeah, I forgot that for a second. So he's going to go for the upgrades on the crossbows. Adgemether, kind of being thrown away here. Probably just trying to idle the economy. To be fair, there's a big chunk of idle economy here. A quarter of the economy. Is it worthwhile trade for all these units, though? I mean, I'm not so sure. He's trying to get some villager kills, but Adgemether aren't really known for their villager killing. One other thing to think about is the rune stones, right? That can be deployed, increases melee damage by 1, and also movement speed. And lasts a very long time, by the way, 150 seconds. Not too shabby. He's killed 1 villager, about to kill a second, no doubt about it. Probably a third. Yeah, gets the third. He's going to hightail it out of there. It's a good start to the Castle Age for Wham. He's kind of broken out of his base a little bit, right? Like, in the early stages of the game, we saw the Golden Horde just running around. Now, Barbapur has had to go home a little bit. And that's great if you're thinking about picking up some relics. Which I imagine Wham is thinking about. Although, I don't think he's got a monk on the field just yet. Probably doesn't feel confident. Wants more army first, understandably so. Because I feel like the Golden Horde are starting to pump now. Getting some upgrades of his own. Oh, we'll see this fight. The Riddari have to get out of there, really. Can't really afford to stick around. Now, the food income, by the way, I've noticed in games for the Golden Horde is incredibly strong. With the strongholds, it's because of the lack of movement that they need to just drop off instantly. But also some upgrades, as you saw, increased by 10%. It's a nice, healthy boost. They're kind of chasing through. Scout's probably going to die. Oh, that's not a fight he wants to take. He does run away, but loses 1 of the Turgut. Nope. The Riddari, I think the Riddari win this, especially with the crossbows involved. There's only 3 of them, but still. Like, yeah, they're being focus fired. It allows the Riddari to get close. And bear in mind, when the runaway does happen, the Riddari should be able to toggle to their thrown axes and snipe something down. Now, granted, they're focused on the Batu Khan. It's not going to be too problematic for the Golden Horde. I mean, the Batu Khan won't die. Oh, but did you see that? So this is the crazy thing about the Turgut and the Batu Khan. So the Batu Khan won't suffer damage if there's close by a Turgut. The damage goes onto the Turgut. And you saw there, the Batu Khan got hit, but it was the Turgut that died. I mean, overall, It's just a way to keep the Batukan alive, right? We saw the thrown axes there for a second. I think, yeah, Wham's got to back away from that fight. Too many crossbows from Puppy Paw. He's starting to pump out units. Oh, you can see some of the Rust tributes. So you can make those from the Golden Tent. It's a really cool addition. Nice bit of a nod to history as well. Oh, we'll come back to that in just a second because a big fight here. Crossbows aligning themselves in that stealth forest. Ooh, go for this gold. He needs gold desperately, to be fair. I love the fact there's a couple of units here on the right side. Keshiks just protecting the relics. Wham already has one of them. But he's going to need a drop-off point here. He's going to go for the Varangian Stronghold first. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, once you've got the upgrade, by the way, for the Yarroslits, it affects every stronghold, which is actually kind of bonkers. Like, because you're gonna need production, right? And so, but also being able to protect here, you got an outpost effectively, a very strong outpost at 2000 HP, and also a forward production building, so you can reinforce your army a lot quicker. But yeah, just look at the army count. Look at the food income as well. It's actually rocketing for the Golden Horde. Holy moly. We're getting to that 20-minute mark. I did say this is where things become a bit scary. Okay, they weren't really quite the 200 population mark, but I mean, when you're producing in batches like this, it's going to get there really quickly. I'm trying to get one more villager kill. Probably won't make it. Might not even make it out of here. Yeah, the Khan will go down. Bye-bye, Batu Khan. I'm sure he'll make another. In fact, he has to make another. The Batukan is so important. It offers the army so much. Increases the attack damage of all the units around him by 10% in level 1, which is feudal age, 20% level 2, and 30% in level 3. That is a huge amount. Especially when you think about you're probably going to be swarming very soon. Now, speaking of swarming, what's Puppy Paw going for? Mostly infantry as it happens. Hardened spearmen, crossbowmen. I wonder if you're going to add in some of the Kharash. It's a cool unit, actually. Adds in, Wait. I'm thinking of... Wait. Am I thinking of the right civ? Yeah. For a second there, I thought it was a different civilization, but yeah. The Kharash are a unit that you can get an edict for, and when you make a unit from a production building, you get free Kharash. But you can also train them. And they're a great unit because they essentially give you an additional armor for your allied units around it. The Riddari numbers are starting to build up though. That's kind of scary, gotta say. Yeah, a lot of dancing around for the two players. Even being able to get some mangonel placements inside the outpost. Something we've known to come and love from the Byzantine, of course. Yeah, I'm kind of excited by these new civilizations. I know they are variant civilizations, but you can see already they're so different from each other, from the basic civs. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, which is your favorite so far. I mean, for me, it's really hard to tell. I feel like I want to watch more Tughlaq, because I love what Macedonian dynasty are doing. I love what the Golden Horde are doing. The Tughlaq, I think I need to see a bit more of. They seem pretty cool, but I don't know if they're a bit slower to get going. I feel like I need a bit more time to figure out how they actually really are optimally played. So we'll see anyway. Of course, we've got the Sengoku Daimyo as well, which I think Sengoku are a very interesting one. They feel like they appear to play very different from the Japanese, but I don't think they do. I think the Castle Age, again, is very strong for them. Maybe a bit more leaning into infantry in the Naginata Samurai, but time will tell. Time will tell. Alright, it looks like he's heading out here, but yeah, we're at the 20-minute mark almost, and 140 bod population for the Golden Horde, and he won't want to run into that many spearmen. And sure, the Riddari are good, but they're not that good. Gonna back away, wait for his own Atgemether and also the crossbowmen to head into the fight. He drops in a runestone as well, which will increase the movement speed, allows him to run out of there. Quick time. It's always nice to have. But he's got to be in range of it, right? So he's running out of range now, understandably so, because, you don't really want to meet this army head on. But this is crazy. Look at the numbers. 81 military to 58. I mean, he might actually get... Okay, 20 seconds left to the 20-minute mark, and he won't reach the 200 population, but... I mean, he's not far off, right? That's the crazy thing about it. Trying to rotate around and get some eco kills here on the right side. And on the left too. So Wham being very active with his army. Let's head back home for now. Looking to get the sacred site down in the middle. Now, one thing to bear in mind, actually, there are a couple of units up here in the north, the Ridari for Wham and the Macedonian dynasty cycling around, looking to try and get some damage on in. These villagers could be at risk. Running through down the west side. Yeah, Wham being very active with his cavalry, which, one thing to bear in mind, kind of crazy enough, is that Puppy Paw doesn't actually have that much in the way of cavalry anymore. Like, it's heavy crossbows. I mean, a lot of 38 crossbows. That's a heck of a lot. It's not really something you attribute to the Golden Horde, but you expect cavalry, right? Now, villagers here managing to vacate. Wait, going back? Not safe yet. Hello? Okay. We'll lose one, though. Maybe try to bait them into the spearmen, but Ridari are smart enough to back on way. Wham spots it out, of course. And is heading back home. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of curious, right? We just noticed in the last few minutes, no cavalry. Adding in man at arms and Kharash. So you're really looking to leverage the Kharash, it seems. Boosting up the armor of the crossbows. And that is wild, actually. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I feel like cavalry into Ridari can be really tricky because Ridari can kite you with their throwing axes. But they can't, I mean, yeah. The thing is, they can always kind of ignore the front line as well. Because if you've got a massive, like, say, Keshiks here, the Ridari can focus their throwing axes on the actual crossbowmen on the back line. And that's really... So they just ignore the front line, right? Oh, the Khan goes down pretty quickly, which is not a good time for Puppy Paw to fight now because he won't have the extra... Well, won't have the extra 20% damage out, but he's going to do it anyway. I mean, understandably so, he's just got the numbers, right? At this point, he doesn't care, Khan or not. It is go time for him. Holy moly. He's feeling ambitious. And this is what we're talking about, though. He's at full population capacity, essentially, at 22 minutes into the game. And he's possibly diving on in, even underneath the strongholds and the Maganel emplacement outpost. I'm not sure it's too ideal. A couple of Ridari here will be cut off by reinforcements. Into the corner, I mean, this is a tricky one, right? He's focusing some of his army on the villagers, which is understandable, but the other half, I mean, to be fair, all the crossbows are focusing on the Ridari. This is a great fight for Puppy Paw. He used his melee infantry on the villagers, where they weren't really going to get involved. This is great micro by Puppy Paw when you basically unpack that fight, especially now. He's going to fight straight up against the Ridari with the crossbows. Runestones has been deployed, so we'll be able to let the Ridari to run on out quickly. But this is a great fight for Puppy Paw. I mean, he's got a lot of Bogmather now added into the mix, Wham, so that'd be good against the crossbows. I mean, to be fair, he will clear this up. I mean, the defender's advantage, right? They're coming into play now, and the army is going to be supported. But look at this, another wave of the Golden Horde approaching. I mean, I think that the crossbows are still getting great value. Like, it's weird because the Bogmather aren't focusing on them. Ridari are now. Yeah, they're chopped to pieces, to be fair. Both players probably could consolidate. I mean, overall, the Golden Horde lost a lot of army. And the army value here for Wham is significantly more, as is the destruction value. The big thing is, though, look at the food income. That's the crazy thing for Puppy Paw, right? He has got similar, or the same villager kills, but his economy is just stronger. Look at that food income. Is wild. About to potentially take another fight. Ridari jumping on in a bit too eagerly. Loses a couple for free, almost. Fact is on the board. This is the thing about the fortified outposts. They're actually really good because they're super tank. They're expensive, but they're super tanky. 1,700 HP. I mean, you could probably, the Varangian stronghold has something to say about that. But yeah, it's a really good way to secure areas of the map for sure. Alright, it's heading forward with the Bogmather and also the crossbows. Good line of Adgemather as well. So, yeah, I mean, for the first time in the game for a long time, I feel like Wham has actually got a significant military lead. And I'm kind of curious to see how the fight's going to end up here because it's a lot of Bogmather, and I don't know if they'll do too well against the man-at-arms. In fact, I know they won't do too well against them. The question is, yeah, the numbers are good for Wham, but I don't think he's got the right type of units. The switch into man-at-arms for the Golden Horde seems to be a really smart one for Puppy Paw, and it should be able to overrun things here. Fighting underneath the tower as well. It's not really what Wham wants. He's fighting anyway. Runestones has been deployed, But it's like Puppy Paw will be overrunning here. Especially with the reinforcements coming on and quickly trying to get an outpost. But I don't think it's going to go up in time. And bear in mind, the food income for Puppy Paw is so much that he could just replace this. Slowly but surely, Wham's army is starting to disintegrate. The Bogmather are good. They have got the ability to ignore 2 armor, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Even with the runestones, he's heading back, and this outpost is not going to be sticking around for too long, you can imagine. Crazy Castle Age battle. Both players really sticking it out in the Castle Age. No thought of going to the Imperial Age at all. He's even actually gone into a couple of veteran horsemen, would you believe? With all the options, Keshiks, Turgut, gone for horsemen. Playing it simple, playing it standard. At least in terms of cavalry, but there it is. GG gets called. I mean, an interesting play for the Golden Horde. Infantry, that's what they're good for apparently in the Castle Age. An epic battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, by the way, I've got a game for you. We've got Beastie Cutie going up against the Golden Horde. You're going to want to watch it. I think the Golden Horde are one of my favorite civilizations. If you want to watch it, click on the end card on your screen right now. But either way, take care and see you next time.